Every person has spiritual experiences as a child. In a profound conversation I got to have with Renovare staff member and ministry team member Brian Morykon, we talked about his early experience of God, a few of them. And one of them he notes was an experience that was motivated out of fear. And then a few steps back, a little bit earlier, he noticed that an experience of God that happened in his grandmother's single-wide trailer, and how her hospitality towards the family was infused with so much love, so much kindness, and so much life and light. Brian also offers us a snippet of a song that he wrote about his woundedness as a child, and how we bring that as adults, that woundedness, into our life, and how God longs to meet us in that woundedness and bring continual healing and restoration. As you listen to the conversation and the little bit of the song he graciously offers to us, notice what is stirred in you. Is God inviting you to a deeper, ongoing healing, maybe around some experiences of fear or wounding that happened when you were young? Maybe God is inviting you to become a hospitable, much infused, loving presence to children that are within your circle of influence. Listen and see what you hear.
And Brian, would you mind sharing with me an experience that you had of God when you were young?
So you just told me before we turned on the camera to think of it in terms of goodness, beauty, and truth. Frame, because before you said that, the experience of God I was thinking of was my conversion experience,
Sure.
which was one more motivated out of fear.
Yeah.
I remember my dad, I was 7, and my dad came into my bedroom and we were talking about God, and he somehow I knew from being at church, like, if I didn't accept Jesus, I would go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still afraid to accept Jesus for some reason. And my dad, not in any sort of manipulation, but just was like, well, okay, if you want to do that, it's your choice. And I remember him walking out of the room, starting to walk out of the room, and he's saying, no, I want to do this, let's do it. I want to go to hell. So that was the first of many, Jesus, I receive you as my Lord so that I don't go to hell prayers, right?
Yeah.
I think many of us who grew up in the evangelical tradition probably prayed 100 of those prayers.
Hoping the next time would work.
Right.
Just in case.
Right. But I remember that first one. So there was something real about that. There was a desire. I think even if there was just a little bit, that was more than just fear, desire to be connected to the Lord. But then when you talked about goodness, beauty, and truth, an image of my grandmother's single-wide trailer popped to mind. We only visited my grandmother once a year. She lived in a small town in Pennsylvania in this little trailer, and her kids had bigger houses than her and all sorts of stuff, but everybody would come to that little trailer, this little trailer park that she kept neat as a pin,
right?
Because she had so much love. And my grandfather was mentally ill, had schizophrenia, and so my grandmother cared for him. Tirelessly stayed married to him over 50 years.
Wow.
And cared for him, cared for her 4 children, one of whom was my dad. And, we would just go up and visit as a family once a year. But just being in her trailer, I'm picturing it now with old wallpaper and all those big wooden spoons and wooden forks on the wall.
My grandmother had that.
Maybe every grandmother had that.
Just standard grandma issue.
And she would lay out cold cuts for lunch with the sesame seed buns, and just her kindness. She was Catholic, and interestingly enough, my dad would say that he was saved out of Catholicism, right? But my dad would always say, like, your grandmother knows the Lord. She knows Jesus. He could recognize Christ in her relationship with Jesus, and so that just being in her presence, experiencing her love, the way she loved people, cared about people, didn't care an ounce about stuff. She'd always mismatch silverware. People would give her new silverware, and the next time we'd come over, we open the drawer, it's the same old silverware, right? She had given that away to somebody else and kept using what she had. Yeah. And because she knew it was about people. Yeah. And so
here's this woman embodying unconditional love to you.
Yeah.
And that's shaping your picture of God.
Yeah. I hadn't ever thought of that until about 4 minutes ago. as that being a really formative experience for me, but it really was.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thanks for asking.
And bonus, Brian is going to, if you still feel like you would like to, play a bit of a song that you're working on.
Yeah. Oh. All right.
I think one of the things that going back into our childhood memories and noticing where goodness, beauty, and truth showed up, where these are the fingerprints of God, is deeply healing to our childhood selves. Deeply healing, where we can see that God's love and goodness precedes the wound. And I think that's what drew me when you play a little bit of this song you're working on to this song.
Wounded boy, hiding in my heart. Come on out, stop shouting from the dark. See, I got a little confused, thought you were the accuser, but you were the accused. Thought you were the abuser, but you were the abused. I thought I could reform you through force and punishment, but the only thing that formed was an angry little kid. I forgive my enemy and run to embrace the right of me. Lord, you let them come, so I will reject the child to love. Play the first 2 lines, I have the next verse anyway. Wounded boy, my son, my flesh and blood. Your heart gets scarred while daddy learns to love. I'm gonna speak some truth now. You are not the things you're doing, I'm not the things I've done. We are sons together, love with the fire of love. Anyway, that's all I have.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's going to go from me addressing the wounded child inside of me to to addressing my son, who's about to be 5, in the way that I have treated myself has deeply affected how I treated him.
Absolutely. And I mean, this practice of parenting has potential for deep healing.
Yes.
May it be so for both of us.
Thanks.
Thank you.
In my new book, Spiritual Conversations with Children, Listening to God Together, is really a book for adults, to help adults come alongside children and help them to recognize and respond to God's extravagant invitation. In the clip that we've seen, Conversations, you can hear how God is interacting with us and calling us even while we're young. And so in conclusion, I just want to leave you with this blessing that comes from the last chapter in my book. In the end, my hope and prayer for you is this: may you experience children with a renewed heart. May you become increasingly aware of children and greet them in common places like the grocery store and the park. May your deepening sensitivity to childhood experiences change the way you think and the way that you live. May you encourage a child's life with God through listening to what is being spoken and also to what is being said. May your life become one of prayer for children as people who are on the margins of society. May you honor the God-given autonomy of children, taking special care not to manipulate or smother them. May you be granted the awe-inspiring opportunity to witness a child's life with God. Amen.